Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another marvelous episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. I'm your host, that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching. Where's he going next? Nobody knows. Three continents down, three more to go. The worldwide star boy, Remy Blue. But it's not about me. No, you see, we have a special guest tonight, a very talented guest. Heck, she might just be the most one of the most talent. No, not might. She is one of the most talented, if not the most talented, photographers in the PNW. That's the Pacific Northwest. For those of y'all that don't know, and if you check out her page, you'll see a lot of great shots there. And man, let me tell you, when I get to, I think you're wherever she is. I believe maybe Seattle, Oregon. I'm definitely going to try to get my picture taken. Everybody, welcome to the show, Soona Price. Soona, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing very good. Thank you for the introduction, and thank you for the opportunity for having me here. Sorry,
Awesome,
I'm a
awesome.
little shy, so but yeah.
Don't be shy. You'll be fine. We've had a lot of people that have been on here and they've been like, oh, and then we're like, nah, you're good. Don't worry about it. So I must say, when I saw your work, I was like, wow, like it is. These shots are great, man. Like they're amazing, and those wrestlers are lucky to have you. Taking those pictures and doing those portraits of them. Like I like some good photography. I actually got into it myself, and I was like, I'm still learning, still asking questions. I graduated finally from a point and shoot to a DSLR, so
Nice.
I'm still learning and everything. Apparently, people like my work. I don't know, but
Well,
I
I need to
know
check it out.
definitely. Yeah,
Oh
yeah, I
wow.
have an Instagram page and everything. But enough about me. Like, how is it? I take it you're in Oregon, right?
I'm actually from a small town in uh, Richland, Washington. So I'm pretty
Okay,
much far away from. I'm 3 hours away from Seattle and 3 hours away from Portland. So
okay,
I'll sometime travel to go shoot.
awesome, awesome. Portland and Seattle, they're definitely on my to-do list.
Yes.
Um, the first thing I want to do when I go to Portland is get me some of that voodoo dough that I've been hearing about.
Oh yeah.
Um, in Seattle, I've heard that one of my coworkers told me there's a lot of places to eat at and so on. So, one of the things I definitely want to do, I know you're gonna be like, oh, he's so touristy, he's typical tourist. I want to either have lunch or dinner at the Space Needle. Definitely want to do that.
Yeah. That's I need to do that too. I don't
Yeah.
know. I hardly ever. I've never been to the Space Needle. Maybe when I was a little baby. But yeah. Yeah.
So, so tell us, like, how did you become a fan of professional wrestling? What was the match or main event that got your attention?
um. So I was a big wrestling fan. When I was 4 years old. I remember my dad was watching WWE, and it was the Ultimate Warrior doing this promo, and I just remembered I was like a little terrified with him, but I just got hooked, and then ever since then it's just been I've been hooked with wrestling. I love wrestling, and yeah, so
That's
I yeah I would say yeah. I mean I was really fascinated with Macho Man and Sherry Martel and Miss Elizabeth, so yeah.
yeah, that was a great time to. I got in. So I take it. I'm not gonna say the year because I don't want to age any. Although I do say my age on here a lot of times. You know, you're a lady. I'm not gonna do that. But you know, you started. I think you started watching the same time I did because I remembered when Macho Man was the Macho King. And you had Sherry acting all crazy, and you had his. And it's funny, I didn't even know that the genius was his brother until years later, not too long after. But I was like, wow, they're totally different people. And of course, you had Hulkamania running wild and all that. And when
Mm.
I first started watching, I thought Ultimate Warrior was the bad guy. Come to find out, He was actually the good guy, just like Hulk Hogan. Just that they were doing face versus face. I'm like, okay, this is
Yes.
pretty unique, you know. Yeah, that was a great time to start watching.
Yes, it is. I remember when I was younger, I wanted to be a pro wrestler, and then I remember this one guy that my cousin was dating. He was like, "Don't let your dream die," and then I just remembered, like, man, like what I think. Well, right now I'm like 37, so that's when I was like, man, I think I let my dream die. And then all of a sudden, I just got started doing ringside, and then I don't know, I started going to all these shows, and that's when I was like, wow, it's really meant to be. I didn't know that I would be doing ringside like in the future. So my best friend Sue Young, she's the one who got me into ringside when she was doing Prestige, and then that's when she would just push me to go do it. And then all of a sudden, the pandemic happened, and then I just thought, okay, well, that's it. I guess I'm not doing any more ringside. And when I went to Without a Cause, and I noticed all the Spokane guys were there, and I'm like, oh, cool, like I haven't seen them in a long time. And I just remembered um, Jake Anderson. Um, his announcer name is Maddox Ryan. He was telling me like, hey, we need a photographer at Relentless Wrestling, and sorry, there's my daughter right here.
It's okay. Hello.
Say hi. But anyways, so so I ended up going to their show at Relentless Wrestling doing ringside, and I was a bit nervous. I am a bit nervous. I was a bit nervous, and I'm sorry. Okay, sorry.
That's
Okay, so I remember doing the first probably I missed a few shows at Relentless Wrestling, but I when I did the show, that's when I was like, okay, I need to get my groove back, and then um then I guess that's when it started, 2021. So
so you're saying Sue Young told you like the Sue Young of
yes, I'm wearing
Impact
her shirt.
Wrestling?
Anyway, sorry.
Wow, that's cool, man. That's very
Yes.
cool.
Hi, yes. I got pizza, babe. Oh, she got pizza. Yeah. Yes.
So
And what's your name?
my name is Remy. What's yours?
And, and this is her house. Her name is Ayana.
Hello.
Anyways, yes, the Sue Young, yes, she's the one who told me to do it. I've known her since we were kids. When she was, I remember when she was, I'm trying to think, maybe she was like 16. She said that she was gonna be a pro wrestler, and she went and go do it. So yeah.
That's awesome that Soo Young actually encouraged you to, and thank and Soo Young, if you ever see this, thank you because you have it. I'll tell you what, sooner if I ever go to end up in Seattle or Portland, Oregon, wherever you're at, and I see you there, I'm like, please take my picture. I have my Ringside Society shirt on. I will
Awesome.
definitely, because one of my goals is to. We've had several great photographers on here all over the country. There's a
Oh
guy
yeah.
called Greg Tech. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. He's in Texas, Dallas, the Dallas Fort Worth area. Amazing guy. I'm like, dude, if I ever come to DFW, I
Uh-huh.
have to get you to take a photo. I will pay you. I don't care. Take my money and just take my money and run. I just want a portrait. And then I don't know if you know this actually husband and wife couple, JD AC,
Uh-huh.
over in here on the East Coast. I'm in New York, but they're in I believe they're in Maryland, and they do great pictures in like the DMV, New
Oh wow.
York, New Jersey area. And there's hopefully one day I can get to get them to take a portrait of me. But your work, y'all's work, y'all do some phenomenal work. Like, man, like it would not surprise me if y'all get snapped up by a big like Speedy, who
Mhm.
does the work for AEW.
Yes.
He's another phenomenal one too. Like it would not surprise me if y'all get snapped up by these big companies. Like It's a great thing you never gave up your dream. Thank you for not giving up your dream. Um, and my advice to you would be, I mean, you're grown, but you know this, but I tell anybody, don't stop. Don't
Mhm.
stop. Keep on going because you know why? Not just for yourself, but you could be inspiring somebody else right now. There might be some young woman that is from your town
Uh-huh.
that is saying, "Wait, Sooner Price from my town? I want to be just like her. She's my inspiration. If she could do photography, then guess what? I'm gonna do my best to do the same thing she did. You know. So thank you for not giving up, and please don't stop. You keep on with the phenomenal, with the excellent work. I was blown away. I was like, nah, we gotta talk about this. We gotta get her on the show.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the kind words. I really appreciate that. But yes, yes, I love doing ringside. Sometimes I have made mistakes before and I learn from it. And but anyways, the I would say the but anyways, yeah, I started with Prestige Wrestling for a few shows, and then that's when I started with uh Relentless Wrestling. They're from Spokane, Washington. So they're
Right.
like 2 hours away from my home. And then I did do a few for Without a Cause. Sadly, they stopped running the show. And I did DOA Pro Wrestling on Ringside before. I did that. But Soo Young was like, "Hey, you want to do Ringside?" And I'm like, "Sure, why not?" And so I did Ringside for DOA, and then I would do some Ringside for Reactivate Pro Wrestling. They only live like a minute away from my home, so I try to encourage people like, "Hey, go to the show and support the wrestlers." So yeah. But anyways,
Yeah,
yeah.
I gotta check out some wrestling on that side. I've only been able to see wrestling in um Los Angeles, California, which was pretty great actually. The people there, they're larger than life. Like
Mhm.
I'm like, wow, like if it would not surprise me if Vince McMahon or somebody hit y'all up because like they're just so larger than life. And crazily enough, he actually did because now you got, Shotzi Blackheart. She's in WWE. I got to see her 7, 8 years ago in Southgate, California, which is in SoCal,
Mhm.
and it's just amazing, and hopefully I get to see some stuff in PNW and so on as well. So when you first started doing this, were you like, well, let me dial it back a bit. So how did the photography, were you doing it before wrestling, or were you did when you started wrestling, that's when it all just came together and bit by bit you started building your brand?
I started photography May. I'm trying to think. Um, probably probably like 16 years ago, maybe 17. I did do some. Maybe actually, the age of 19, I started doing it, like doing little, portraits of kids or family, and then um, I remember when Soo Young was getting ready to. She went to go train, and she came home and visited. I did her promo shoot, and it was like my first like promo shoot I've ever done. But to me, I was thinking like, man, I need to like learn how to, you know, uh, figure out on backdrops or whatever. And but honestly, yeah, I've been doing photography for a long time, but action photography, I did not expect that I would be doing this. I would get tips from my brother because he's really good at photography as well, and he does like a lot of car shots, action shots, or yeah, racing and stuff. So, but yeah.
That's awesome. That's cool that you started like back then. And so what was it like doing your first set of action shots? Were you like what was going through your mind? Were you like nerves on like high, or were you like, something? It's gonna be different, but I think I got this. I mean, I've done photography for a while now. It's gonna be different, but I think I got this. So, like, what was your mindset, getting into this part of photography?
So I when I was doing Prestige, I just remembered like taking a bunch of snapshots. Like I was just taking so many shots, and then But I mean, I felt like I wasn't. I didn't like. I need to learn more of the settings of the camera. So, but I didn't know how. Honestly. And then when I started doing relentless wrestling, I was trying to like, okay, I'm I want to do something where I don't want to use the flash, and then I'm sitting here like, man, this is really hard. My pictures are blurry, and I was getting like a little frustrated. And then um, that's when I started learning how to use my camera and learn how to use the settings to capture the right action shots. I mean, I did had a few rough shows, and then last year I decided I'm like I'm gonna buy a new lens, and then when I bought a new lens and learned the camera setting, my pictures were coming out really good, and that's when I was like, okay, like I'm okay, I'm getting somewhere. And but anyways, but with all that, I mean, honestly, I did go like would look at other wrestling photographers like Speedy, um, I think Electric Sheep. And I'm trying to think who else. I've seen Jamie and Imogene. She's from the Seattle base as well, Lady Bell Wrestling. And so I started getting inspired by them. Even Wes Smith also.
Lady Bell, that's I
Uh,
shouldn't be putting this man's business out on the street. He's probably gonna kick my butt when he sees
oh,
me.
um,
Is isn't she Ricky Gibson's wife?
yes,
Ricky, please don't beat me up this time. I didn't mean to put your personal stuff out there. Gosh. Yeah. But
yes.
yeah, I've seen her stuff. They're very good. Um yeah, she was the photographer for the WCWC
Oh,
um several years ago. I don't know if they still haven't came back to doing shows. I don't know if they'll ever come back. I hope they do because they had a lot of great talent there. But yeah, I've seen her stuff.
yes. Yes, she's a really amazing photographer. So, yeah, I remember when I first started, I saw her work, and that's when I got really inspired. Mom, hi, mom.
Um, so in terms of photography, what would you say is your most iconic shot that you've taken? The one that you enjoy looking at like, wow, that was me. Like this should be like, Pulitzer and whatnot.
Um, I'm over here like I do have here. Let me go get my iPad because
Yeah, sure.
I carry my stuff. Anyways, I had quite a few. I really love the one I did. Well, I wasn't ringside, but I was at Defy Wrestling um last February, and I took a picture of Nick Wayne, and he did like a backflip
Okay.
on Swerve, and I'm looking for the picture right now. But anyways, it was like my favorite photo of him. And then I remember some random person sent me a message. It was like, "Hey, can I was like, can I buy a print from you?" And I'm sitting here like I don't know if I'm allowed to do that. So I remember messaging his mother, and I'm like, "Is it someone wants to buy a print?" And then she was like, "Oh, go ahead." She was like really sweet about it. And I'm trying to see. Like, um, let me see. Where's Nick Wayne? Okay. I don't know if you can see it, but anyways, that was like my favorite shot of him
Woo!
doing a
Man.
backflip. I was at the balcony, and
Mm.
yeah, I was at the balcony of Defy Wrestling, and yeah, that was like my favorite shot of him. I'm like, wow, like
Yo, that
yeah,
is magazine worthy. Oh,
thank you.
I'll tell you what, if you ever have online classes in photography, I would definitely. I'm not just saying this like because, like I said, I'm still a novice. I started 2021.
Mhm.
I'm just like willing to be under a learning tree. Under but like I said, I just want to make sure I have a Canon, and I'm like before that I had a Kodak, and I didn't
Mhm.
know that Kodak is not like good for photo shoots.
Yeah.
stuff that I was trying to do, like especially, I mean, granted, there was one model that I had. We took a couple pictures in Times Square. I'm in New York,
Hmm.
and she was like, these came out great. It's like middle of Times Square, middle of the day. When I looked it up, I was like, Kodak was not one of the ones that were listed. So I'm like,
Hmm.
hmm, okay. I guess I got to upgrade. And then right, it's funny, right there, coincidentally, my camera just wasn't formatting my discs and my not discs, memory cards. So I'm
Uh-huh.
like, okay, I guess it's time for me to upgrade. And then I got like a Canon. I don't know what the model is,
Hmm.
but I got it from Best Buy with like two lenses, and I'm pretty satisfied with, somewhat satisfied with how it is. But I'm
Uh-huh.
still willing to learn everything. But that's a phenomenal shot you just did there.
Thank
I
you.
can see that being in a magazine, and like I said, just keep on keeping on. Like that, it's you're doing amazing work over there.
Oh, thank you so
So
much.
I just got a few more questions. I know
Oh, no,
you
no,
got
no, you're fine. You're fine. I'm
so
good.
what so in regards to, let's say, if somebody, like, you know, wants to get into doing ringside photography, what advice would you give that person that is, trying to do the same thing that, you and Lady Bell and River Horse and many of the others are doing?
Uh, um, well, just be on your toes. Try to avoid on getting hit. With how do you do your work, your craft. That's on you. I mean, I'm willing to help. Like, if you need, like, if they have any questions on action shots, I'm willing to help. I did help this one guy from Utah. He sent me a message asking me because he's like loving. He like saw my work and I told him just get a probably try to get a lens that would help. And then he just got a lens and his shots were coming out really clean. And but I don't know. My advice is just try to stay out of the way. But don't stop. I mean, if you're really passionate with photography, well, just um, keep just keep going. Don't stop because there's times I've have felt like oh my work is terrible and I wanted to throw in the towel but I don't know. I mean, so I don't know if that is a great advice or whatever. But yeah. Well,
It's
put yourself. Well, actually, sorry, put yourself out there. There you go. Put yourself out there. I mean, do promos too. I mean, I'm sure like do promo photos, pull those wrestlers aside. Sue Young did tell me that you need because she told me like, you need to go out there and get these wrestlers and take their promos, and I'm like, okay, but yeah.
that's definitely great advice. For those of y'all that are looking to get into ringside photography, you just heard it from one of the best in the Pacific Northwest. You got a little something, something from her. Anything else, you probably got to pay her for a time, but hit up her PayPal or something. But I'm just kidding.
No, you're funny.
But yeah, definitely, you definitely, y'all take heed, and I'll definitely take heed of that too. I don't know if I'll do ringside photography, but I'm right now. I'm just doing this podcast and whatnot. I had the opportunity to be a timekeeper, but for a promotion, CCW over in Delaware. But
Oh, okay.
ringside photography, I don't know as yet. Maybe soon. I'm just trying to make sure I get the regular stuff down first, and then
Mm.
I'll see. But so I just got two more. So my second to last question. Um, does the camera really matter, or is it like just like all on like your like how you that, how do I put it? Does the camera really matter, or is it the photographer? Because you know I've thought like if you got like a Nikon or a Sony or a
Mhm.
Canon like that, you can never go wrong. But then some people
Uh,
told me no, it's all about the camera and the cameraman and their perception is, or camera woman and their
mhm.
perception is so. Let me say camera woman, photographer and
Uh-huh.
their perception of what they're shooting.
Um, I think that you can use any camera. I mean, I recommend like a full frame because of sometimes maybe the low lighting or um, I don't know. I mean, I kind of noticed the difference on a full frame compared to my other camera. I forgot what it was. Um, I bought like a few years ago, and I just noticed like my pictures were too dark compared to the one I have right now. So I don't know. I mean, but yeah, I'm more of a Nikon gal, but um, I don't know. I'm over here like, uh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, my brother used a he used a Fuji, and that those turn out great too. He does action shots as well. So I don't
Okay.
know. I mean, if you whatever camera you're comfortable with, go with that one. So I mean, not everyone's gonna like a Nikon or a Canon. So
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, I'll definitely remember that. I'll see. I still haven't checked out all the features on on my Canon yet, but I will definitely, I know there's certain features like if you're taking food, pictures of food, put it at that feature.
uh-huh.
So
Oh yeah.
um I'm still like toggling with, the functions and whatnot, just seeing what's what and so on. So my last question, before we wrap it up, um, in regards to ringside photography and so on, where do you see Soona Price photography going in the next 5 years? Me, I'm already thinking you're gonna be that if you keep taking shots like that, we're gonna see you in like PWI and so on, the Wrestler and those magazines. But where do you see the your photography going in 5 years?
I don't know yet. I mean, I'm just going with the flow. I mean, I'm enjoying doing ringside. I enjoy being part of the backstage with doing promos for the wrestlers. And I don't know, like I was watching your guys' show yesterday by King Naja. You can't buy those opportunities. To me, it's just special. I mean, I don't know. Just I don't know where I'll be in 5 years, but right now I'm just enjoying being doing what ringside and being part of backstage.
I'll tell you what though, if I do when I do see a if I do see your work in a magazine somewhere, I'm definitely gonna be screaming at the top of my lungs, yeah, she did it. Yeah, I'm always happy when people get success, when they work hard and they get rewarded, man. It's I'm always clapping for everybody whenever they work hard and they get rewarded. It's a great thing. It's a great feeling as well. I know it's kind of weird, but that's how I am. If somebody
Oh no,
uh,
no, you're
gets
right. I mean,
rewarded.
yeah, because I mean, I get kind of weirded out. Like I was actually in awe with Vinny. He shoot, I can't pronounce his last name. But anyways, he's a veteran and he's from the California area. But anyways, he mentioned about like he's like he was telling me at the last show, he's like the hardest worker and something something, and I'm sitting here like thinking like, oh yeah, yeah, you're the hardest worker. And he's like, no, I'm talking about you. I'm like, oh me. I'm like, I was sitting here like, oh, I didn't think of that, but I was thinking about like, what, my back is killing me. Yeah, sure, I'm the hardest worker for right now. But yeah, I mean, I appreciate him telling me like I'm the best, and I'm like, I don't feel like it all the time. I don't feel like it, but I mean, yeah, I just try to get the shot that I don't know vision. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, I'll tell you what, I wish you nothing but the best with your photography. Like I said, I probably said it to 100 times, but for the 100th time, but keep up, the great work that you're doing. It's really appreciated. Thank you for not suing us for using your
Oh no.
pick we had of King Naj to promote the show. Um, we always give credit to the photographers, but we thank you and I definitely hope that yeah, I send definitely sending positive vibes your way. Hope you get to take your photography to new levels and so on, and all that good stuff. And we'll definitely be cheering for you as well, too, rooting for you as well too, over here at Ringside Society. With that being said, it's about time for us to wrap this up. Before we actually wrap this up, Suna, where can fans find you on social media when they want to check out your work, when they want to see that iconic photo of Nick Wing and all that good stuff.
You'll find me on Facebook page, Soona Price Photography. Instagram, it's Soona underscore Price underscore photography. And on Twitter, it's Soona underscore Renee.
Awesome. So y'all heard wrestlers and fans alike. Make sure y'all follow this one. Make sure you check her out on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook. Her work is that, as Triple H used to say back in the day, that damn good. You will not trust me. You will not be unimpressed. You will be highly impressed to the point where you'll go to the PNW, whether it's Oregon, whether it's Seattle, and be like, hey, Suna, please take my picture. I'll pay. It will be, you will
Of
be,
course.
trust me, you will be just like that. So, but with that being said, thank you once again for being on our show. And it's about that time for us to wrap this up. My stomach is getting rumbling, is rumbling. My eyelids are heavy. That means it's time for dinner and a nap. Maybe not in that order, but before I partake in those activities, if y'all want to find me on social media, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at the Remy Blue, and also on Facebook under the alias Remy Blue. If y'all want to find, you know what, for the first time, I'm actually going to say, probably the only time I'm going to say, if y'all want to see my photography, Blue Cap Visions, that's BLUE, cap as in hat, CAP, or as the younger folks say, cap as in lie, that's BLUE, CAP, Visions, VISIONS. You can see that on Instagram, and you can check out my work there for those of y'all that are interested in that are into photography like I am. And our podcast is also on social media. We're on Twitter and Instagram at Ringside Society, Twitch at Ringside Society 2019. We're on Facebook as a Facebook group, and we're also on Spotify, and we also have a Teespring store where we sell official Ringside Society merch, like this what I'm wearing right now. And we have t-shirts, tank tops, hoodies, long sleeve shirts. We even have coffee mugs for your favorite beverage. We also have pillows. I don't know when we started getting pillows, but we have pillows now too. Um, and we even have several designs. Like we have Valentine's Day, which is next week, and we have the design, our Mardi Gras design, which is for later on this month. So y'all definitely check us out. Cop some merch. All proceeds go back into keeping our show afloat. It doesn't go back into our pockets. And last but not least, we have a YouTube channel where you can see cool interviews like this one, like the one we had with King Naja last night, the Flaming Aces, Amira, Charlie Avell, and many other great people from the Pacific Northwest, many other great people from all over the world. Um, Definitely check out our YouTube channel. All you gotta do is go on YouTube and type in Ringside Society. And once you see that really wonderful dark blue and light blue yin yang sound, the blue flames around it, that's when you know it's us. So make sure you subscribe to all our videos because we got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and you don't want to miss a thing like Aerosmith in 1998. But as a matter of fact, I'll tell you all right now. Next week we're going to be having referee Brad Lee, who's also from the Pacific Northwest area, from Oregon Pro Wrestling School. He's going to be on our show as well too. So we're going to talk some ref stuff and wrestling stuff with him next week as well too. Um, but until then, I just want to thank everybody tuning in live tonight. We really and truly appreciate it. To those y'all that are listening later on, when you get a chance, thank you very much in advance. And those y'all that hate us, can't stand us, really and truly wish we'd go away. Well, like myself at the Golden Corral, we're not going anywhere for a while. And we just want to let y'all know that we're very well aware to everybody and their grandparents and the parents of a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. As a matter of fact, we're not just any podcast. So, with that being said, I'm going to say it one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, one time for the Pacific Northwest wrestling scene, and one time for one of the most talented wrestling photographers in the PNW. I don't think I got it right.
You're good.
PN. Oh, okay. All right, there we go. Soona Price. We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. And with that being said, we'll be back next week with another impressive guest on another impressive episode. But until then, we just want y'all to do four favors for us. Stay safe, stay healthy, be excellent to each other, and party on, dudes. We out. Peace.